What's happening with it? This is Slink Johnson, a.k.a. Black Jesus, your Lord and Savior, and you're listening to the Red Rock Podcast Network. How you love that?
You are listening to the Red Rock Podcast Network, featuring Pod of Thrones and the Shiznit.
Look, this is for my old head, young Jesus shadow. Dino Red said he loves the intellectual. Busy never hesitate. I can rap whatever, bro. I'm only in first gear, but still way ahead. Living in the cold world full of that nonsense. Drug heads, teen moms, day-to-day violence. Fiends at the corner, panhandle for bottles. 12-year-olds running around with pistols and hollows. Fuck with my conscience, but still I do. I know right from wrong, but my decisions is stupid. My generation is crazy, and the media proof. Ignorance is bliss, and we is ill influence. And that's why I'm here. Old soul kicking brand new flavor in your ear. Rapper of the year.
This is the Red Rock Podcast Network. From Red Rock Studios in Los Angeles, California, this is the Shiznit. Now, put your hands together for the Shiznit.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Shiznit Show. I am your boy. I am your host, Dino Red, and I have with me, as always, my ride or dies, Miss Dijon Monique.
What's up, world? It's your girl.
The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Pip Lily.
They say feelings aren't facts, but I feel good, and that's a fact.
Hey. Right. So right off the bat, I want to apologize if you guys hear some loud noises in the background. My neighbors are doing some construction, and they've been jackhammering all day. So hopefully you won't hear it. I don't think it'll pick it up, but it might. And if you do, oh well, sorry about that.
I'm gassy.
But
that's what it sounds like.
Right. They've been jackhammering under my house, you guys know, for weeks now, months, it seems like. So I probably won't even hear it.
They looking for them
probably
bodies.
not, right?
Yeah, I probably won't even hear it.
They looking for them bodies.
For all the bodies. They're redoing the foundation, so it's no telling what they found under there already.
Hey, y'all hear about Kanye preaching today?
I'm not surprised. He's been having Sunday services for like a year now, so it's just a matter of time for him to transition into preaching.
Oh, yeah. I did hear him say something that he was going to start doing the word.
I'm not surprised.
I didn't know that he was going to start doing it.
I'm not surprised.
I thought he was going to have somebody else.
Come on, with his ego. Who else? Who going? I mean, he's been calling himself Jesus forever. So, of course, he just, then he's going to start church. So it's just a short jump. In a minute, he's going to have motherfuckers trying to bow down to him, worship him.
Oh, I just didn't feel like he even felt like he was qualified enough to preach.
You would think at least like you're standing before the face of God would give you some humility.
Yes.
No.
To be like, hey, I'm going to bring in this pastor.
No.
But no,
They say God has a Kanye complex.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. It's so funny. When I think about the world, we talked about religion last week and stuff like that. Oh, I got something about that actually. But I think I feel so small when I think of the universe and how like big and gigantic it is.
Insignificant.
And Kanye is just the opposite.
Yeah.
Think of how big the universe is, how big the world is, and be like, you know what? I'm just as big. I'm just as big.
Somebody called me out this week on something I said last week about, not believing in stuff. Because I am a spiritual person.
Right.
I am. I have my own spiritual belief system. I just don't have the traditional belief system. And I know that what I believe in, some of it's not true.
Okay.
I hold on to it as a belief because it makes me feel better about the world. So that's what I want to say.
That's what most of religion is. Well, I mean, people don't want to admit to that. You know what I mean? But they believe it not because it makes sense, but because they need something to believe to, and it makes them feel better about. It makes them feel better to think that something or someone else is in control, and this is not just random and it's out of their hands. It feels better for them to think that there's a God up there pulling strings and whatever, and it's all about His will. And
some people need a God to believe in, because Lord knows. Lord knows if they didn't have a God to believe in, where they would be or where we would be as a people.
It was a French philosopher that said if God didn't exist, it would be necessary to invent him.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Was it Descartes, I think?
My mom was a single mother And she had 3 kids. And if she didn't believe that Jesus was going to make it all right, she might have drowned us in the tub.
Wow.
Ditto. My mom had all girls. Yeah. It's a blessing that I'm here.
My mom would have drowned me in a mop bucket.
You know? My bucket.
Mop bucket, because, taking baths in mop buckets.
I do believe in the power of
bucket
love.
Didn't have the sticker on there.
No sticker. Because of
on
Pip. Pip protested the sticker, and I just would have.
Now your mom just drowning babies.
Drowning babies in the bath buckets.
In the bath bucket.
Threw the baby out with the bath bucket.
Get a baby with a bigger head.
Yeah.
Head won't fit in the bucket.
Yeah. So shout out to the chat for checking in with us today.
Hey, chat.
Yeah, I'm
Everybody
coming.
there.
I'm here. I'm
And shout out to our peeps down in the ATL on Beat Break Radio 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. What it do. Shout out. Unfortunately, Pip and I both experienced had deaths and for people that were close to us this week.
Oh, no.
Pip's aunt
passed
away.
Aunt Dee.
Oh.
My Aunt Dee she was only 5 years older than me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, my parents were really young when I was born, and my grandmother Lily had 12 kids. She was the youngest. So when I was born, she was only 5.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've heard of some cases where the nephew is older than the uncle or the aunt.
Yeah, I know some.
Yeah, that happens from time to time.
Actually, because of that, you would think we might have been closer because we had not the age difference. But actually, I wasn't very close to her. However, I was very, very close to her son. I still am very close to her son.
Okay.
Her son Cameron. So that's my boy.
That's like my nephew Deuce that I always talk about on the show, who's probably one of the closest people to me on this earth. Well, not probably, definitely is. He's like my best friend and like my little brother. We're only 7 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
So there's less space between him and I than me and my sister, his mother.
Wow.
Yeah, me and his sister are 10 years apart, and he and I are only 7 years.
You
apart.
and your sister are 10 years apart.
Yes, me and my sister, not his sister. Me and my sister, his mother, are 10 years apart.
Well, me and my mom are 16 and a half years apart.
Well, that's like me.
Yeah, and me and my oldest sister are only 5 years apart. But me and my baby sister, we are 16 years apart.
I thought you were gonna say 6 months.
We're
How you
16
do that?
years apart. So my mom spaced us out.
Well, my cousin Cam, he's like a background singer, background vocalist, and he will tell everybody that I influenced him and my cousin Missy growing up because I was doing shows all the time, musicals and choir and stuff like that, and my grandmother would bring him because my grandmother actually really raised him, and she would always. My grandmother came to everything I did. So he would just sit there and he's like, I want to do that. And now he's doing it.
Cool.
That's what's up.
So,
Mostly
and then
gospel.
And then it was my good friend, actually ex-girlfriend, who passed away.
Oh, I know it was your ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, ex-girlfriend.
Oh.
Actually, the first woman I ever wanted to marry.
Oh.
So yeah, one of my first loves. We were very close. It was really weird at the funeral because it's been so long. It's like, man, I'm old. Mm-hmm. I'm so old that somebody I was so close to at one time went on and had this whole other life that I didn't know anything about, and vice versa. And so did I, because we when we first broke up, it wasn't a horrible breakup, but it wasn't totally amicable either. But we later reconciled and became friends again. But because I've always been married, or you can't really be tight with an ex like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
wives ain't having that.
Right. So we hadn't been in touch in many, many, many years. I can't even remember the last time I saw her. And I was very sad because there was, like I said, I'm so old, certain memories are starting to fade. Like I couldn't remember I remember where we met. I remember where we got close. Mm-hmm. I can't remember exactly how we started dating. You know what I mean? Like, I don't remember, like, I think it was one of those kind of things where we were just friends and always together and we just, like, ended up kissing or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then we was just, like, together. Yeah. I believe that's how it happened, and I believe that's why I can't remember exactly when.
Because there was no, will you be my girlfriend? Yes.
Yeah, it didn't happen like that, but, or at least not originally, but I don't know. It's just so much, but, it was good to see her sister. And
did you get to see her before she passed?
No, I didn't.
I'm sorry.
I didn't.
I'm
No.
sorry.
Like I said, I haven't seen her in many years. And I was bad. Like even my memory of what she looked like was starting to fade. I looked at the obituary pictures and I was like, oh my gosh, she was beautiful. Like, I mean, I remembered that she was, but it exactly, you know what I mean? Like,
see her
it was
freshly again.
Yeah, it was fading. But that smile, I remember I had forgotten what her smile was. One of those smiles that would light up a whole room.
Mm-hmm.
I was so in love with her.
Oh.
Anyway, so I started thinking about different things and what if my life had gone different ways and whatever. Not regrets or anything.
The sliding doors.
But just, yeah, exactly. If I had married her, would she still have passed away this early? You know?
Aww.
Or you know.
Don't take on that.
What? It was just.
I feel it, Tim.
Yeah, it's just a thought. Like, I mean, would I be a widower now? Or would somehow us being married, maybe she would have lived longer? Or, you know.
Because you just never know what like the butterfly effect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like if they had stayed together, maybe they lived somewhere different. Maybe whatever made her ill wouldn't have been around.
Or I would have seen it sooner than she did. And then maybe it could have, whatever it was, it could have got addressed earlier. And that could have, because people actually can be saved a lot of times just by the how fast you catch it.
Preventative.
Yeah. That's like a lot of times the difference between life and death.
Early detection.
Early detection. Exactly. A lot of times saves a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I just started kind of going, down that road a little bit and thinking about because we had way more good memories we didn't have a lot of bad memories at all. Not a lot. So, but yeah, that was, it was kind of crazy because, she was a little bit older than me, not that much, and for her to be gone already, it was just like, wow, that was, you just don't know. I started, there's a couple people I hadn't told them how I felt about them in a while. And I was like, I love you, right? For real.
If I never told you.
I was like, that. I know I haven't said it in a while, but I love you. So just so.
I feel you. I haven't. My aunt that passed away is on my dad's side. This is my dad's youngest sister. But you all know off mic that my auntie on my mom's side is terminally ill with cancer, and so we've been expecting that, and it hasn't happened yet. This is my mom's older sister, so I've been sort of putting my energy towards that recently. But because of her impending death, I've been putting a lot of attention on my mom, and I've been sort of recognizing don't take my mom for granted.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's good. That's good when you can reflect on yourself and go back and not have those regrets. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, no, I don't have any regrets about. Well, I do. It's not a regret, but I wish we could have kept. But I just, like I said, it's an ex-girlfriend, so you just can't do that when you're married. You know what I mean?
No.
But I wish there had been a way that we could have. Stayed in touch better.
Like the way that you reached out to people and let them know how you feel about them, and the way that you are being more conscious about your mom. Like, it's just like death just opens up your eyes in that way to make you realize how short life is. And just I've been trying to do that more myself, just even send my mom a text like, I love you, or you cross my mind, just because.
Yeah. You never know.
Yeah. And then you don't want to have those regrets. Like, she passed away, I'm like, I wish I would have texted her more. Or I wish I would have called her more. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it'll take an outside death to open your eyes to see, how precious things are.
Yeah.
A lot of that also, I think a lot of death has nothing to do with the person that died. Because it's finished.
Yeah, they're done.
It's all about the people that left behind.
Yeah.
And I was even thinking about this, even how I'm treating my mom. And I had a discussion with another friend about this. And it's mostly selfish. I'm doing it for my mom. I'm doing it for me. Mm-hmm. If something happens to my mom, I want to be able to say, I did my best to show her while she was here how I felt about her. So,
right.
Yeah.
And of course, I do want her to feel great too.
Right.
But if I'm really, really being honest, it's about me.
Yeah. No, you're 100% correct. It is for everybody. And like I said, with this and, her being so young, it made me, it didn't make me think about that with my dad, because with my dad, that's already in my mind all the time, because he's over 81 years old and he's sickly and in and out the hospital all the time. So that's already just like it was with